Before we start, this video is sponsored by no one. Wala naman kasi akong sponsor. Kumusta? I'm Avar Joseph and welcome to News and Worthy Recap Weekly Edition number 151. We have tons of covered since last week, so skip the chances provided if it piques your interest and subscribe to the channel kasi wala namang masama, di ba? And let's get on with the video. Ramil Madriaga humarap sa impeachment ni VP Sara. What do you get when you threaten the President, the First Lady, and the House Speaker?
Huwag kang mag-alala, ma'am, sa security ko. Kasi may kinausap na ako na tao. Sinabi ko sa kanya, kapag pinatay ako, patayin mo si BBM, si Lisa Araneta, at si Martin Romualdez. No joke. No joke. Nagbilin na ako, ma'am. Pag namatay ako, sabi ko, huwag ka tumigil hanggang hindi mo mapatay sila. And then he said yes.
In a fit of rage kasi nakulong yung aide mo.
Ang ina ninyong lahat. Martin Romualdez, Lisa Marcos, Bongbong Marcos.
The chair declares the sufficiency in substance of Sabala et al. Impeachment complaint. So ruled. The chair declares the Cabrera impeachment complaint sufficient in substance. So ruled.
Kicking off the April 14 Committee on Justice hearing sa impeachment trial ni VP Sara Duterte, lumabas na yung self-confessed bagman ng ating VP na si Ramil Madriaga.
Having sent that letter and the original affidavit to Congresswoman De Lima, maaari ho ba namin kumpirmahin sa inyo ang inyong pagkapagpadala ng sulat at original na affidavit kay Honorable De Lima? Mr. Madriaga?
Magandang tanghali po, Madam Chair, sa lahat. Opo, Madam Chair, kino-confirm ko po.
Thank you. Thank you. With that, we direct the committee secretary to receive the copy of the personal letter of Ramil Madriaga to Congresswoman De Lima to form part of the records of the proceeding in this case. We further direct the COMSEC to provide copy of the same to all the members of the Justice Committee, including the ex-officio, including our respondent.
Pero sino nga ba si Ramil Madriaga at bakit parang lahat ng tao ay interesado sa kung ano man ang sasabihin niya patungkol sa mga di umano ay ilegal na gawain ng pamilyang Duterte and particularly the VP? Disclaimer, wala pang napapatunayan sa mga sasabihin ko sa ngayon. This video is mostly about everything. Itinatala ko lang yung mga sinabi ni Ramil Madriaga sa kanyang sinumpaang salaysay nang umattend siya sa hearing ng Committee on Justice. Hindi pa siya nakukulong na overturn ng kanyang conviction sa kidnapping noong 1997 by the 2003 Supreme Court, so wala pang convicted na tao dito. Hindi rin substantiated yung mga sinabi niya kay VP Sara. This is exploratory hearing na ginawa ng Committee on Justice at hindi isang trial. Now, lumutang ang pangalan ni Ramil Madriaga nang maglabas siya ng affidavit noong Disyembre linking Duterte sa mga POGO operations Pharmally scandal at illegal na droga financing her campaign as either president or later on VP.
On November 29, 2025, I executed an affidavit which was subscribed and sworn to before Attorney Cynthia Biñas Pentonal on the same day. In my affidavit, I narrated my involvement with then President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, PRRD, his daughter Sara Duterte, Sara, other members of their family, and their close associates. More specifically, I provided a personal account of the various works I did for the aforementioned individuals, including campaign and organizing activities, intelligence gathering and sabotage, and transportation of large sums of money under the direct instructions of either PRD or Sara. 3. With my consent, my affidavit was submitted and referred to the Office of the Ombudsman through a letter dated December 15, 2025. In her complaint, BP Sara reiterated that she has no personal or professional relationship with me. In fact, prior to the dissemination of the Madriaga affidavit, BP Sara had no recollection of knowing, meeting, or interacting with me. 6. However, her denial of any affiliation with me is absolutely false. She lied under oath in her perjury complaint against me. Hence, I decided to execute a supplemental affidavit providing further details on the narration I made in my previous affidavit with additional accounts of other orders, tasks, or works given to me by either PRD or Sara or BP Sara.
Pero bakit kaya nag-180? Bakit bigla na lang siyang bumaliko at kinalaban ni Madriaga itong si VP Sara kung matagal siyang kakilala nito, and even go so far as to say na naging trusted bagman pa niya? Along with allegedly FPRRD saying na take care of VP Sara.
12. Sometimes in 2018, PRRD asked Sara, BP Sara, to go to his home in Taal Street, Bangkal, Davao City, to discuss upcoming local elections in Davao City, where BP Sara was going to run for re-election as mayor. During this meeting, PRRD introduced me to Sara and told me, Ram, ikaw na bahala kay Inday. Since then, I've frequently met and discussed with BP Sara, then Mayor Sara, regarding various matters. However, she gave me strict instructions that all conversations should be done as much as possible by call and minimize text messages. 13. Furthermore, PRD also asked me to profile individuals associated with BP Sara, then again Mayor Sara, because she is his favorite among his children. PRD wanted Sara, BP Sara, in politics instead of Paulo Duterte Pulong and Sebastian Duterte Baste, who he characterized as baliw and bading, respectively.
Simple. Noong 2023 raw, dating decent human being at presidential spokesperson filed a kidnapping case laban kay Madriaga dahil umano sa mga pagkamkam sa lupa ng mga magsasaka. In other words, Villar-style land grabbing para sa pagpapatayo raw ng Pogo Hubs sa Mariveles, Bataan. Kumbaga, as a retaliation sa pagtulong ni Madriaga sa mga farmers, nakukuhanan daw ni Roque ng lupa, nag-file ng kidnapping case si dating presidential spokesperson Harry Roque kay Madriaga.
Okay, so nakatanggap nga ho tayo ng sulat galing sa kanya. It's dated November 17. It was coursed through his lawyer. Nagpapatulong siya. Ang sabi niya ay yung sa kaso niya, kinasuhan daw siya ng kidnapping at yun daw ho ay panggigipit lang sa kanya dahil nga daw ay sa kanyang pag-file ng kaso ng land grabbing daw against kay Harry Roque. It's about yung tungkol sa kasi nagpatulong daw sa kanya a group of farmers ng Mariveles, Bataan. Hindi ko actually kabisado yung specifics ng kaso na yan. So it has to do with yung land grabbing nga daw na naapektuhan ng grupo ng mga magsasaka sa Mariveles. At dahil daw doon, binalikan daw siya, kinasuhan daw siya ng kidnapping. So nagpapatulong. And then, nakatanggap ako subsequently ng copy ng kanyang affidavit, also coursed through the lawyer. The affidavit was executed November 29.
Opo.
So I went over the affidavit at napaka-seryoso, napakabigat ng kanyang mga kwento doon. So I got curious, I got interested. So pinuntahan ko po siya doon sa BJMP Annex 2, doon sa receiving area na nandun din ang kanyang lawyer, in the presence of his lawyer. Tinanong ko siya about yung affidavit niya, yung mga sinasabi niya doon. Ano ko sa kanya, nagtanong ako ng mga detalye ng mga sinasabi niya doon. And ang dami actually niyang mga sinasabi.
Opo. Nang matatandaan natin na lumayas ng bansa si Harry Roque dahil sa kanyang connection sa isang illegal na Pogo Hub sa Porac, Pampanga over the Lucky South 99 Pogo Hub, which exposed his connection sa dark underbelly ng Pogo operations, including human trafficking among others. Of course, lumaya siya hindi dahil meron siyang kaso, kundi dahil sinampahan siya ng contempt. Ayon kay Madriaga, nadismaya siya sa ginawa ni Harry Roque. Tapos nung kinausap niya si VP Sara para kausapin yung mga farmers, biglang ayaw harapin raw ni VP Sara ang mga magsasaka nung nalaman niya kung anong kumpanya ang kakalabanin nila.
48. During one of the activities of ISIP in Bataan, I got to know a group of farmers who were asking for assistance because of land grabbing incidents in their area. I tried assisting them and I discovered that the entity behind the land grabbing in First Bataan Maribeles Holdings Corporation. More than a year later, I informed Sara about this concern and she told me to bring the group to one of her residences in Metro Manila located at Serendra Bonifacio Global City, Taguig City. I asked the group of farmers to wait outside of Serendra as I went to talk to Sara. When I mentioned to Sara the First Bataan Maribeles Holdings Corporation is the one involved in the land grabbing incidents, she told me that she cannot do anything and that she will no longer meet with the group of farmers. 77. Frankly, I felt bad and disappointed given that Attorney Harry Roque filed the case against me in retaliation after I tried to expose his land grabbing activities in Maribeles, Bataan, together with his Philippine offshore gaming operator partners. As I previously mentioned, I was merely trying to assist the farmers of the said area who were supposed to be awarded of their certificate of land ownership award by the Department of Agrarian Reform but fell victim to Attorney Harry Roque's activities. Attorney Roque and his Pogo partners wanted to convert the said place into a Pogo hub after he facilitated the transfer of at least 60 land titles to First Bataan Maribeles Holding Corporations. In fact, Danny Corral, President and Chief Executive Officer of First Bataan Maribeles Holding Corporations, is also an incorporator of Lucky South 1999 Outsourcing Incorporated and Lucky South 1999 Corporation, which were involved in Pogo operations in Pampanga. Number 80, more importantly, I felt betrayed that despite all my efforts to support Sara, to the extent of even committing high-risk acts for her and her family, she did not lift a finger to stop Harry Roque, who is her known ally and supporter, from filing the unfounded kidnapping case against me.
It reaches to a point na ayon sa kanyang lawyer, habang nakakulong si Madriaga sa Camp Bagong Diwa, months bago niya ilabas ang affidavit, dinalaw raw siya ni VP Sara ng 2 beses para makumbinsing pigilan ang expose by contacting a judge na konektado raw sa VP para ma-dismiss ang kanyang kaso.
Sometime in October 2025, after I got arrested for alleged kidnapping, I was called by Jail Warden Jose Marie Sabiniano in his office. As I made my way to the office of Jail Warden Sabiniano, I was surprised to see Sara through the metal railings of the passageway. She smiled and waved at me. Number 76. When I entered the office of the jail warden, Sabiniano, he asked me if I know Attorney Joyce. I replied, Joyce dapat, and jail warden Sabiniano handed me a phone. When I said hello, I recognized the voice of Sara and she asked me about my well-being and conditions inside the detention facility. She was also apologetic for for failing to do something or assist in my ongoing criminal case.
Now, in the Committee on Justice hearing, mangiyak-ngiyak pa nga si Madriaga over the full spiel as he details the supposed term-sharing agreement ni BBM at Sara Duterte para sa 2025.
Would you like
47.
to say something
No,
about why you are crying on this part of the affidavit?
hindi naman, malungkot lang po.
Malungkot. Okay, please proceed.
Madam Chair, can we allow the witness to please?
Honorable
get his-
Dumogan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can we allow the witness to please get his
Yes.
composure before he will continue?
Yes, we are temporarily suspending to give time to Mr. Madriaga to console himself.
Sometime in November 2021, PRD mentioned to me that Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. will run for the president while Sara will serve as his running mate. PRD added that a few months ago, BBM and Senator Jaime Marcos visited him to discuss a possible alliance to the 2022 national elections. During this meeting, BBM was able to convince PRD to have Sara as BBM's vice president. However, they also agreed that by 2025, BBM will voluntarily step down to give way for a Sara presidency.
Nang hindi matuloy yung kampanya na inumpisahan ni Madriaga na isip o Inday Sara is my president movement at KISLAP o Kislap movement, which apparently was funded by the same illegal drugs and pogo operations.
Inday Sara is my president isip at 2022 national elections campaign. 34. In 2020, I was instructed by PRRD and Sara to help form a group to support Sara's candidacy for president in the 2022 national elections. Hence, I helped establish and register a non-profit corporation called Initiative for Social Justice Innovation and Progress, or ISIP Pilipinas, Incorporated. But to us supporters of Sara, ISIP actually stands for Inday Sara is my president. I helped establish ISIP together with some friends of BP Sara and alumni of San Sebastian College of Law, SSC Law, including Assistant Special Prosecutor Ryan Ray Kilala of the Office of the Ombudsman and his wife, Aurea Fortuna Kilala. A screenshot of one of ISIP's video conference meetings where Sara and Attorney Ryan were present is here to attach as Annex B. A photo of Attorney Reynold Monsayac wearing an Inday Sara is my president is here to attach as Annex B-1. 35. I got close with Attorney Ryan, who was previously a professor of Sara and former associate dean of SSC Law. He shared with me that Sara was not particularly good in school, was often struggling with her academics and habitually rude and violent to other students. Hence, Attorney Ryan used his influence in San Sebastian College of Law to ensure that Sara received passing grades despite her poor academic performance. 36. Attorney Ryan and his wife became quite close to me and my family that they agreed to serve as godparents in my son's wedding. A photo of Attorney Ryan and Rhea taken during my son's wedding is here to attach as Annex C. Shortly after we organized ISIP, I was informed by PRRD that funding will be made available for the activities of ISIP through the contribution of his friends and supporters. One of those friends and supporters is Lin Wei Zhong, who was the financial officer of Parmalee Pharmaceuticals. Sometime in June or July 2021, PRD informed me that someone will call me to directly coordinate the turnover of 175 million to fund ISIP's organizing efforts, promotional and campaign activities. Thereafter, a man called me to proceed to the basement parking of Seda Hotel, Quezon City, to pick up the said amount. Thus, I hurriedly went to the place with my cousin Rosendo Madriaga. As I recall, the money was placed inside several large backpacks and bags, which were handed to me at basement of parking of Seda Hotel, Quezon City. I loaded the same to my white Toyota Land Cruiser. Lin Wei Xiong was present when I received the said amount together with 2 other individuals. He then asked me where will the money be used. I informed him that this will be used to fund election of Sara, to which he replied, good, good. 40.
Nung nagkakutuban na hindi raw tutupad sa usapan si BBM, Digong Duterte apparently had plotted a coup at assassination attempts para malagay si VP Sara sa 2025 as president. That means less than 4 years ang sinerve ng VP, which opens up the possibility at eligibility na makatakbo si Sara sa 2028 presidential campaign tulad ng ginawa ni Gloria noong 2001.
After Sara took her oath as Vice President, PRRD had a discussion with me, with retired generals of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, where I was also present regarding all the possible scenarios for unseating BBM by 2025. In case he reneged on his promise, the general objective was to ensure that PBBM will only serve less than 4 years of his term as president, so that Sara, upon assumption to the presidency, will still be eligible for the presidency in 2028. 31. I remember that one of the plans considered was to sabotage BBM's administration by using some of BBM's own men, either recommended by PRRD for appointment or allied with the Dutertes, to reveal supposed corruption issues that will serve as a precursor for an impeachment for complaint. 32. In the event that BBM will not voluntarily step down or hand over the presidency to Sara, extraordinary measures of overthrowing BBM will be considered, which include assassination, mass resignation of government officials, civil disobedience, and even an armed assault of Malacanang Palace. It was also considered by PRRD to arrange assassination or armed hits of several government officials in order to cause massive civil unrest. The resulting civil unrest will be used as basis to organize a group of military officers to stage a coup. 33. One of my assignments was to recruit civil groups, schools, clubs, fraternities, criminal groups, and syndicates.
Naglabas ng ilang video at screenshots si Madriaga supposedly connecting him to VP Sara and even Presidente Rodrigo Duterte, with Sara calling him Sir Ram.
Pwede po paki-rewind po ulit. Paki-rewind po. Ito, ayan o. Ayan, Sir Ram, sino yun?
Si VP Sara.
Sino po yung Sir Ram na tinatawag niya?
Ako po, Your Honor, ako po, Madam Chair.
Ayun po.
Happy birthday, Sir Ram. I wish you good health and happiness.
A dubious painting na binigay raw niya kay VP Sara na apparently hindi raw yata totoo, and even Duterte being carried by one of her professors sa law school.
Got close with Attorney Ryan, who was previously a professor of Sara and former associate dean of SSC Law. He shared with me that Sara was not particularly good in school, was often struggling with her academics, and habitually rude and violent to other students. Hence, Attorney Ryan used his influence in San Sebastian College of Law to ensure that Sara received passing grades despite her poor academic performance. 36. Attorney Ryan and his wife became quite close to me and my family that they agreed to serve as godparents in my son's wedding. A photo of Attorney Ryan and Rhea taken during my son's wedding is here to attach as Annex C.
Dinawit niya rin si dating Ombudsman Samuel Martires when he claimed na he gave to the Ombudsman as directed by FPRRD at VP Sara millions of pesos over multiple times.
Money deliveries under the instruction of Sara. In the morning of December 20, 2022, Sara called me and she said, Sir Ram, please coordinate with Colonel Nolasco. Meron tayong deliver sa San Pablo, Laguna, sa Night Street, at sa Ombudsman. Sara added, bawi tayo sa kanila later. Later, I received a text message from her indicating the places of delivery, which include San Pablo, Laguna, Night Street, Office of the Ombudsman and the corresponding contact numbers. Number 56. At around 8 a.m. the same day, the team met in my residence at Cainta Rizal before we traveled to the last location, OMB parking area. This time, however, we only used my blue Toyota FJ Cruiser and the red Mazda sedan, where the remaining 2 bags were previously placed. We left my residence at around 8:30 a.m. Richard was driving my blue Toyota FJ Cruiser, while Arman and another person, Noel, and he brought along were aboard the red Mazda sedan. '71. When we arrived, the guard gave a signal directing us to park in a specific area in the Ombudsman parking lot. We proceeded to the specific area and parked red Mazda sedan where the remaining 2 bags of money were placed. We left the keys on top of the left front of the wheel, which is our usual practice when delivering large amounts of money. 72. Previously and upon direct instructions of PRD, Sarah, I've also delivered money to Ombudsman Samuel Martires or Tony Ryan, which I usually place inside an open trunk of a designated car.
Nagsign ng pang waivers si Madriaga allowing the House of Representatives na tignan yung bangko niya as he alleges being used as a dummy account of FPRRD during his stint as president.
Dummy accounts and bank transaction of PRD. Despite only earning 100,000 pesos or to 150,000 pesos from my services to PRD, millions of pesos went through bank accounts opened for me by close associates of PRD. I admit that during PRD's term as president, I served as a dummy for the transfer of large amount of money. These transfers were made through bank accounts that were opened under my name, which include but are not limited to the following: China Bank, Legazpi Village, Makati City; China Bank, Main Makati City; China Bank near the power station at Ayala, Makati City; PNB Makati Metropolitan Avenue Branch, Makati City; an unknown bank in Pasig City. To prove the aforementioned allegations, I am willing to execute an affidavit, authorization, or any other document, and to perform all acts necessary for Committee on Justice of the House of Representatives or the courts to access the aforementioned bank accounts and all other bank accounts under my name.
Siya rin daw mismo ang nag-dispose ng inulat sa balitang 125 million pesos. Pero ang plot twist, hindi raw yun nagastos ng 11 days kundi less than 24 hours.
A few years later, I read from several media reports that 125 million OBP confidential funds in 2022 were reportedly utilized in just 11 days. This is wrong because I personally disposed the money in less than 24 hours.
Isama mo pa yung pagnilay-nilay daw ni Duterte na ipapatay si former Senator Antonio Trillanes pero hindi tinuloy dahil sa koneksyon ni Trillanes sa mga tao sa militar, which is probably the most credible dahil Trillanes proved to be such a pain in the ass sa mga Dutertes pero wala silang makita sa kanya during his time as president that he only resorted to canceling his amnesty dahil wala siyang mapahid na kaso.
11. As part of my duties, PRD specifically instructed me to monitor, operate, and sabotage former Senator Trillanes. However, PRD was apprehensive in ordering the assassination of Senator Trillanes because of the latter's support and contact in the armed forces of the Philippines.
Now, marami pang mga isiniwalat si Madriaga pero we won't know for sure if this testimony will hold up under scrutiny kapag nagkaroon na talaga ng isang full-blown trial sa Senado if magkaroon nga talaga ng impeachment trial. Tikom rin naman si Duterte but that could just be a tactic of saving the best arguments for last sa full-blown trial ng Senado. Zaldico, makakauwi na raw ng Pilipinas. Now what do you get when you speak out of line? Accuse the president who holds your passport of being the mastermind ng trilyong pisong flood control na bigla na lang nawalang parang bula.
Ang ibig pala nilang sabihin sa aalagaan ka namin ay gagamitin ako bilang panakipbutas sa kanilang kampanya laban sa korupsyon. Ginawa nila akong poster boy ng kanilang sariling kasinungalingan. Ngayon, hindi na ako mananahimik. Ilalabas ko ang lahat ng katotohanan. May resibo, may ebidensya, at may pangalan. Nagsimula ito nung tumawag si Sekmina Pangandaman sa akin nung nag-umpisa ang BICAM process last year, 2024. Ang sabi niya, katatapos lang ng meeting nila ni Pangulo at may instructions na mag-insert or magpasok ng 100 billion worth of projects sa BICAM. At sinabi pa ni Sekmina, you can confirm with Yusek Adrian Bersamin dahil magkasama sila sa meeting ni Pangulong BBM noong araw na yon.
Straight from the source, nahuli na si Zaldico sa Europa. Ayan ang pinost ni Presidente BBM sa kanyang Facebook page nang dakpin si Zaldico ng mga Czech authorities without proper documentation.
Kagabi po ay siguro bago mag alas 10 ng gabi ay nakausap po tayo ng Pangulo, kasama po natin si Secretary Dave Gomez at ipinaalam sa atin kung pinaka-update sa pagkakahuli dito kay dating Congressman Zaldico. At siya po ang naunang nagbalita, nag-post ng update patungkol po dyan. At of course, ang mararamdaman ng Pangulo bilang siya po ang naging nanguna sa pagpapaimbestiga ng mga anomalya sa flood control projects. Although wala pa pong inaakusahan ng Pangulo, walang inaakusahan ang gobyerno kung sino ang guilty or not guilty. Pero kung kayo ay nababanggit na maaari may kinalaman, nararapat lamang po na imbestigahan. So ngayon po na may kaso, dahil ang pagkakaiba naman po kay Zaldico, meron na po siyang kaso at ang kanyang passport po ay canceled. So lumalabas na siya ay fugitive. So ang isang fugitive dapat lamang pong mahuli. At sa pangunguna ng Pangulo, na nalaman niya na isang fugitive ay maaari nang maibalik sa Pilipinas, maganda pong balita yan.
Matatandaan natin na last year lang, kinansela ni BBM ang pasaporte ni Zaldico para mapadali ang paghuli sa kanya kung saan man siya sa mundo. Kasi kapag may passport ka, you can go wherever the frick you want.
Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ito ay isa pang report na aking ibibigay tungkol sa mga investigasyon at kaso sa mga questionable flood control project na ating nakita. May babalita ko po sa inyo na ang passport po ni Zaldico ay kanselado na. Kaya in-instructionan ko na ang Department of Foreign Affairs, pati ang PNP, na makipag-ugnayan sa ating mga embassy sa iba't ibang bansa para tiyakin na hindi maaring magtago itong ating hinahabol na magtago doon sa kanilang bansa. At kung sakali man ay siya'y pupunta ron, ay i-report sa atin para naman ay maibalik natin siya dito sa Pilipinas.
Pero dapat din nating tandaan na yung pagkansela ni BBM ng kanyang pasaporte ay matapos mag-drop ng bombshell si Zaldico ng kanyang 3-part video na nagsasabing si dating House Speaker Martin Romualdez at Presidente Bongbong Marcos Jr. ang nasa likod ng lahat.
Right after our conversation, tinawagan ko po si dating Speaker Martin Romualdez at nireport ko ang instructions ng Presidente to insert the 100 billion projects. At sinabi niya sa akin, what the President wants, he gets. After ng ilang araw, nag-set po ng meeting si Sekmina Pangandaman at Yusek Adrian Bersamin sa amin ni dating Speaker Martin Romualdez sa Aguado Building in front of Gate 4 ng Malacanang at nandun din po si Yusek Jojo Cadiz. During the meeting, binigay po ni Yusek Adrian Bersamin ang listahan na worth 100 billion. Tinanong ko po si Yusek Adrian kung saan galing ang listahan. Ang sagot niya, galing kay PBBM mismo at binigay niya ito mula sa brown leather bag. Nung sinabi po ni Yusek Adrian Bersamin yung brown leather bag, naalala ko noong nasa Singapore kami right after the elections of May 2022 sa Hilton Hotel, kami ni dating Speaker Martin and PBBM habang pauwi at pabalik ng Pilipinas, hinabol ng PSG ang brown leather bag at ang sabi ni PBBM, maiwan na lahat, wag lang ang brown leather bag. Kaya naniwala ako na utos talaga ito ng Pangulo. Pagkatapos ng ilang araw, I informed sina dating Speaker Martin Romualdez, Sekmina Pangandaman, Yusek Adrian Bersamin, and Yusek Jojo Cadiz na kung pwede 50 billion lang ang ipasok sa program funds dahil so sobra ang DPWH funds versus sa DepEd. In practice, hindi pwede na mas malaki ang budget ng DPWH kaysa edukasyon. And yung balas na 50 billion, ilagay na lang sa unprogram funds for the 2025 budget. Dahil Office of the President din ang nagre-release ng lahat ng unprogram funds. Pagkatapos ng isang araw, tinawagan ako ni Sekmina at sinabi ang mensahe ng Pangulo. Ipasok ninyo yan dahil pinangako na sa akin ni Speaker Martin yan at hindi na pwedeng baguhin. Kumbaga, ang utos ng hari hindi pwedeng mabali. Again, I informed the Speaker and asked clearance about the instructions ng Pangulo. At ang sabi niya, wala tayong magagawa. Kaya po nagtataka ako kung bakit sinasabi ni Pangulo na hindi niya makilala ang budget. Samantalang lahat na binawas at dinagdag sa mga ahensya ng gobyerno ay humihingi ng approval sa kanya si Sekmina Pangandaman.
Maniniwala na sana ako kaso sabi niya wala raw siyang nakuha ron, ni Singkong Duleng. Pero that retaliation ng pagkansela ng pasaporte seems to have finally done it dahil nahuli na si Zaldico dahil wala siyang proper documentation when he was apparently crossing to the Czech Republic from Germany at ngayon nakadetene sa Prague. Umalis si dating ako Bicol Party List Representative at dating House Appropriations Committee Chairperson Zaldico sa bansa last year and even resigned sa pagka-congressman matapos siyang bawian ng travel clearance. Ayon kay DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla, malamang sa malamang ay aabutin ng 1 hanggang 3 linggo bago siya tuluyang mapauwi.
So anong tansya mo? Mga ilang araw o ilang linggo pang aabutin bago yan tuluyang maibalik dito kung maibabalik man?
Siguro in as little as 1 week pero as long as 3 weeks. Depende yan sa DFA. Sila talaga ang lead dito. Hindi naman ako eh.
Oo nga.
Coordination lang ako.
Opo. Pero pagdating dito, kayo na.
Pagdating dito, ako ang arresting officer. At ako ang magdadala sa kanya sa custody ng Sandigan Bayan. Kasi indicted na siya eh.
So,
Charged na siya ng ombudsman.
So paano gagawin dyan? Pag nakarating sa Pilipinas si Zaldico, i-detain yan saan?
Dadalhin muna siya sa Camp Crame. Bibigyan siya ng thorough physical. He will be made sure that he is fit for trial. Sabay ipipresent siya sa return of warrant niya ay sa Sandigan Bayan.
Pero sure ba tayong makakawi agad itong si Zaldico in less than a month? Kasi baka gumaya yan kay Harry Roque na nag-apply ng political asylum request further delaying yung kanyang deportation. Baka nga nag-aantay lang sila na baka magkaroon ng gulo sa Pilipinas which would bring in a more favorable administration sa kanila kapag napatalisik na si Marcos. Hindi natin alam kung sino yun, syempre I'm not insinuating anything. Pero ngayon, sa paghuli kay Zaldico, malalaman na natin kung talaga bang totoo ang sinasabi niya dahil ayon kay Lacson, the next Blue Ribbon Committee hearing will be a DDS fever dream dahil sa pwedeng pagsabay-sabay na testimonya ni Zaldico, Orly Gudesa at ng 18 ex-Marines, all implicating Martin Romualdez and possibly even Presidente Bongbong Marcos.
Kung ipapatawag niyo si Zaldico, may balak din kayong ipatawag si Orly Gutesa and 18 former soldiers. So tuloy na yon kung sakasakali na
Yes, but
itutuloy niyo yung
yeah.
Sigurado na yon, ha?
Yes, but with leave of court. Kasi pag na-surrender na siya sa Philippine authorities, he will be under the legal
Yes.
custody of the same Digan Bayan. Hindi naman pwede
Yeah.
makipag-agawan kami ng custody kasi
Yeah.
mas i-respect, even assuming
Yeah.
na merong warrant of arrest, si Saldico from the Blue Ribbon Committee o from the Senate. Kasi sa ngayon, show cause order pa lang yung issue namin eh. Dahil nung last January, when we invited him, hindi siya sumipot along with Orly Gutesa.
Pero ano sa tingin nyo? Nahuli ba siya o distraction lang sa disastrous affidavit ni Madriaga? O kaya baka natapos nang gawin yung istorya nila? O kaya madadawit na ang mga kurakot as Zaldico takes the mic under oath? Or maybe something horrible will happen to finally keep his mouth shut. And of course, this goes out to both ways. Pwedeng administrasyon o oposisyon. The only problem is, malamang sa malamang, kapag nangyari ang mga ito, the only loser would be the Filipino people. At yan pagtapos ng News and Worthy Recap Weekly Edition for roughly the second week of April 2026. Mag-suggest more topics and or corrections to the balitas if you feel I mispresented them in any way. Salamat sa panonood mga kabang for me, like, subscribe for the links sa socials and for Joseph that will be linked down below. So sustainably of course. Paalam.